This is going to be all the spoilers except for the most recent book, Ruby Fever, which is spoiler-free. Hello, Frizzle Fantastics! Let's talk about the Catalina Baylor books. In one word, these books are organized. The plotting is tight. The pacing is always spot on. Fast without being breakneck and sacrificing emotional beats. And also, I'll get into this more later, the main character is very organized, which I love because I relate to it strongly. First, we start with a novella, Diamond Flames. And a novella is the perfect length for this story. We don't have a lot going on in this book. There is no real romance plot. It's just a small mystery that Catalina is solving in preparation for the wedding of her sister, who is the protagonist of the first trilogy of novels. And I love the Catalina books a lot more than I loved the Nevada older sister books. And it's not like the books suddenly got way better written or anything. Like, no, the quality is about even across all of these books. But the difference is that I relate so much better to Catalina than I do to Nevada. But I think even more importantly, I like Catalina's love interest more than I liked Nevada's love interest, which made it a lot easier to get involved in shipping the whole romance plots. So, Diamond Fire, without that love plot that I love, I mean, it's okay. The mystery is serviceable, not fantastic, but just the length we needed. But where does this novella actually shine? One, the familial relationships. All the Hidden Legacy novels have this just super great sibling, cousin, grandma, all the relationships between family members. They're so much fun to watch. Like all relationships, there's some friction, but also they love and support each other and have their own inside jokes, and it's just so fun to watch this boisterous, powerful family. But here's what I loved most about this little novella, Diamond Fire, is that it set up the conflict for Catalina's trilogy, which was Catalina versus herself. Catalina is an incredibly powerful magic user who can make people love her. And she is so powerful and so good at this that her problem isn't making people love her. It's making sure that her magic doesn't leak out accidentally and make everyone her slaves. And because of this, her whole life, she has rejected close relationships outside of her family because she's so worried about her magic accidentally poisoning someone's life. And she rarely uses her magic intentionally. She's just always keeping it bottled up. But finally, in this novella, she has to use her magic in order to solve the mystery and save the day. And making the decision to use her magic is what starts her on this journey of self-discovery and self-mastery. And in that way, also gaining other character development as she becomes more confident in herself and realizes that she doesn't have to hide everything inside and can make friends. That it's totally okay for her to pursue magical power and a leadership role in her family and romance. And then we go into Sapphire Flames. When I was reading the books, not from Catalina's perspective, the one from her sister Nevada's perspective, my impression of Catalina was that she was very gentle, that she was not cut out for being an action hero. And you know what? This book proves me wrong. Is it easy for Catalina to become an action hero? No! And that conflict is so fantastic. She is now the leader of her family. And sometimes when killer assassins come after your family, you just gotta take care of it. So Catalina steps up and takes care of it. And this is another reason why I love the character of Catalina, because she does what needs doing and she does it well. And it's just fun to watch people who are so entirely competent. Speaking of, her love interest, Alessandro Segredo, the totally swoon-worthy Instagram star and or assassin. Here's the moment in Sapphire Flames where I loved Alessandro the most. There is a point where Catalina and Alessandro have shared a kiss, and Catalina starts panicking because she presumes that she has enthralled Alessandro with her magic. And Alessandro has the emotional maturity to realize that what he needs to do is prove that he is not enthralled with her, and he calmly walks away from her. And in that moment, this entire romance just clicked for me, because it showed how emotionally aware Alessandro was and how ready and willing he was to work with Catalina, which made the ending to this book absolutely tragic and perfect. Because at the end of Sapphire Flames, Catalina, after going through a hard character arc, has finally accepted that she can pursue romance, that this is okay, and that even though it's going to be really difficult, she should do it. And she goes to Alessandro, ready to put her heart on the table and tell him that she wants to pursue this relationship, even though there are a lot of factors that are getting in their way. And he's pretty much like, well, ciao. and leaves and breaks her heart. And then we get a little epilogue from his perspective showing that he's leaving because he has an assassin mission to go on that he didn't really want to tell her about, and he really regrets leaving because he also wanted to pursue that relationship. But from Catalina's perspective, him leaving also makes sense because he's a playboy and he definitely showed interest in her, but not interest in an actual steady relationship with her. And then her heart was broken into all of these pieces. And then there we have a conflict ready for the next book. Oh, it's so well done. And the best part is, it's not just all tragedy. We also get hope. We know that this couple is going to end up eventually together. And that epilogue only cinches it. But that ending was masterfully done. It was just the right balance of triumph because Catalina finally reached the end of this arc, and total tragedy, heartbroken disaster. I rated Sapphire Flames 5 stars, and this is my favorite of the series. And then we have Emerald Blaze. This is actually the first Catalina book I read, and then I read all these other ones. It's part of my experiment of reading books out of order, and if you want to hear me elaborate on these experiences, I've got my video about this whole project, and I will link that in the footnotes. But what this book does the best is the growing relationship between Catalina and Alessandro. It's in shambles at the beginning of the book, and throughout the book, it slowly gets repaired. And it's believable and emotional. And of course, with all of these books, there's a very nice action conflict going on as well. This is my favorite action conflict of all of these books. And then we have Ruby Fever. Does this book deliver on everything we need it to? Yes. The romance, Catalina mastering and understanding her powers, the family drama, the ongoing plotlines of the Osiris serum and the warden duties, yes, all of it. I loved this book. It's another 5-star for me. And I gotta say, the thing that stands out best for me in this book is the family relationships, yet again. This whole series is named Hidden Legacy, and we see again and again how that plays into the themes. That these books are a lot about family legacy, both in the genetics that actually pass down the powers, but also just your interactions with your family members. With how that can give you strength sometimes and get you into more trouble other times. And this book really took some pages to further develop those themes, with both blood relatives and the found family unit that they're slowly building around themselves. This is exactly the conclusion that this series needed. But it also gets you ready for the next books in the series, which are going to be narrated by the next sister in line, Arabella. And this is one of the absolute triumphs of the series as a whole. Every individual book wraps up well and is satisfying, but also gives you enough hints at the upcoming character arcs and mystery and action plots that you can anticipate them so well. If you had told me 6 books ago that I would be excited for the Arabella novels, I probably wouldn't have believed you, because 6 books ago, she was a snooty, emotional teenager who played dumb pranks. But we've seen her in the background of all of these books slowly getting more and more character development and just naturally maturing into, yes, still a type A personality who's sometimes snooty, but also exactly the person you need to send when someone owes you money. And it is for all of these reasons that I never want this series to end. I want it to keep reinventing itself, keep getting new narrators and new stories, and I am in love with the series after all of these books. After the first 3 books, I liked the series. It was enough to keep me going. After these books, I am obsessed. So good. If I was ranking all the books in the series, it would go last place Wildfire, then White Hot, Diamond Fire, Burn for Me, Emerald Blaze, Ruby Fever, Sapphire Flames. So what do you think of these books? If you made it to the end of the video, leave a diamond emoji in the comments. Subscribe for more videos on Frizzle Fridays, and thank you for watching.